Sound the alarms! Legacy High Tide has a brand new card from Secrets of Strixhaven, Mathemagics, which you can find off of Spellseeker. Let's go check this one out. This is not a donation deck, this is just something that I wanted to play for the channel. It's Legacy High Tide featuring Mathemagics from Secrets of Strixhaven. XX blue, you have a sorcery. Target player draws 2 X's cubed cards. So it's a really powerful draw spell in Legacy, and the idea is that you can grab it off of Spellseeker. This is the first card of its type that you can grab off of Spellseeker. Blue Sun Zenith costs 3, Stroke of Genius costs 3, and you're really excited to have a big X spell, because a lot of High Tide players are actually playing Spellseeker to beat Orcish Bowmasters. The idea is that you want to use High Tide in order to generate mana. You'll maybe have a Sapphire Medallion in play to reduce some of these costs. And then Spellseeker searches your deck for an instant or sorcery with mana value 2 or less. You go and grab something like Snap, and that allows you to chain Spellseekers and make Storm and mana with Snaps just over and over again. And then eventually you'll play Brain Freeze and deck the opponent, and their Orcish Bowmasters did not kill you. Well, that's really exciting. But if your opponent doesn't have an Orcish Bowmasters, you can just grab that Mathemagics, draw a whole bunch of cards, and then win the game that way. So that is the idea here today. We're in a build that's really focusing on leveraging Mathemagics, and part of that is that Sapphire Medallion package featuring Cloud of Fairies, the Spellseeker, and Snap. You may notice that this is a lot of cards, and in order to include this entire package, some cards were omitted. Well, unfortunately, there was not room for Flow State. I know a lot of you probably want to see Flow State in High Tide, and maybe I'll do a video with that in the future, but this is not the build for it. When you look at the deck, your setup spells are really only Brainstorm and Ponder. You don't have room for Flow States. In order to make room for Flow State, you probably have to cut the Sapphire Medallion, and then the Spellseeker plan no longer makes sense, and we're not even leveraging Mathemagics effectively. This video is about Mathemagics and really how powerful it can be. So that's what we're doing today. Maybe I'll make that Flow State High Tide video in the future, but we're trying this one out today. So that's the game plan. I really do believe that Mathemagics is going to be good. Maybe you do too. Let me know your thoughts before watching the video in the comment section, and then come back at the end and let me know, did it impress you? Was it underwhelming? We'll find out together. I'll see you in the first match. Don't go anywhere. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. You can also show your support by becoming a member of this channel. You get sweet perks such as badges, emotes, early access to videos, exclusive members-only content, and access to our members Discord section. As you increase the tiers, there are other rewards such as shop discounts, cyborg guides, and even free donation decks. Click the join button down below to find out more. We also have other ways you can support us, like theepicsforum.com/shop, or submitting a donation deck via theepicsforum.com/donation decks. That's enough for now. Let's play some Magic. It's the first match, and we're actually facing Phil Gallagher, aka Thraben U. I have no idea what Phil's playing, but we're going to keep Otawara Soaring City into Aether Vial. You've got it. We'll play Flooded Strand, pass the turn. Actually, I've changed my mind. I'm going to Ponder. We'll grab a basic and Ponder. Think I keep this. Pass the turn. Cavern of Souls. Are we playing Legacy Merfolk today? Wizard. Interesting. Thundertrap Trainer. You've got it. Finds Force of Will. We'll play the Flooded Strand. I don't really want to draw land number 4, so I'm going to fetch. And then we will play Sapphire Medallion. Bill gets rid of a Boomerang Basics. I'm going to let that go. I just don't think that's a card I really want to fight over. Aether Vial goes up to 2. Bill plays Sink in a Stupor as a land untapped, and now attacks for 1. Ouch. We will Ponder. Don't really need any of that, so I will shuffle. I tied. That was a draw. So we'll play our land and pass. And step Aether Vial. Harmonic Prodigy. Oh my, we're in the Spice channel today. Okay. Aether Vial goes up to 3. 2 cards left in Phil's hand. Swings for 2. End step we will Brainstorm. Ooh. Get rid of... I actually want all of these cards. I wonder if I'm actually supposed to get rid of the Force of Will and Time Spiral and just go all in on the Desire. And then we will cycle Lorien Revealed. We'll grab Mystic Sanctuary. Draw for turn. It's a Force of Will. We'll play the Sanctuary. Put Ponder on top. Yes. Attempt a High Tide. Force of Negation. Should I let this go? I think the answer is yes. So I'm going to... Actually, let's I'm going to just let it resolve. High Tide. We'll play Cloud of Fairies. Untap 2 islands. Play Snap. Bounce the Cloud of Fairies. Untap 2 more lands. We'll make mana. Play Cloud of Fairies. And now we'll untap. Mind's Desire for 7. We get another Snap. Another Snap. Another Mind's Desire. Let's go! Force of Will. Spellseeker. Fae of Wishes. Let's play the Spellseeker. We'll say yes. Grab High Tide. Play the High Tide. We'll snap our Cloud of Fairies. Play Cloud of Fairies. We'll float mana. Let's play Brainstorm. Maybe I can convert this Force of Will into something useful. And we did. So now we'll play High Tide. Another Sapphire Medallion. And now we will snap on the Spellseeker. Untap, untap. Play Spellseeker. Yes. We'll grab the snap. Snap the Spellseeker. Untap, untap. We'll play Spellseeker. Yes. Grab the Mathemagics. And we'll target Phil. Alright. Draw your deck, Phil. Phil drew 49 cards. Sweet. Alright, so we win game number 1. We're facing a blue deck. You're supposed to bring Impact and Negation versus these strategies. I think we could probably cut like a couple copies of Sapphire Medallion. I did notice when looking at other lists, some people were only playing 2. I like 4, but it now makes me believe that maybe I can board a couple of copies out versus Fair Blue. I think we want to leave Echoing Truth as a catch-all versus things like Damping Sphere or something like that. We could probably get rid of 1 Fae of Wishes, and maybe like 1 Lorien Revealed. Game number 2 on the draw. Our hand has everything but lands. I'm going to choose to keep this, but I do need to get a little bit fortunate and draw some lands. Basic Island into Harmonized Trio. Well, there's a land. Boom! Pass the turn. Scalding Tarn. The attack happens. End step will cycle Lorien Revealed. Go grab another Basic Island. We drew Ponder. We'll play the Sapphire Medallion. Force of Negation exiles Patron Wizard. Yeah, you got it. Phil searches out a Thundering Falls. Gets rid of Aether Vial. Thundertrap Trainer. Sure. Finds Force of Will. And then plays Polluted Delta. Cloud of Fairies. That's not a bad one. We'll play Ponder. And there's land and snap. We're going for it next turn. Alright, we'll play the Misty Rainforest. Pass. Phil attacks. Ouch. Still 3 cards in hand. Aether Vial. Alright, so we know that it's Force of Will plus blue card. I will fetch. Grab the island. We'll play Mystic Sanctuary. We'll put Lorien Revealed back in the deck. I don't know. I don't even think it matters. And High Tide. Cloud of Fairies. Untap, untap. We'll make 2 mana. Snap the Cloud of Fairies. Lightning Bolts me. Oh no, Lightning Bolts the Cloud of Fairies. I'm an idiot. Yeah, so that fizzles. So we know that I have a Mind's Desire for 5, or I can just Time Spiral. I think I'll Time Spiral. I could have Force of Willed that. Maybe it was a mistake on my part. I was just like, oh, Lightning Bolt doesn't matter here, just not thinking. Sorry, Phil. If you watch this, I'll be embarrassed later when we talk. Alright, so I will play Cloud of Fairies. Untap, untap. Make more mana. We'll attempt a snap on the Cloud of Fairies. Untap, untap. Make more mana. Play the Cloud of Fairies again. I have 6 mana floating. I will play a Lorien Revealed. Phil fetching in response. Grabs a Volcanic Island. Pyroblast. I'm going to allow that to happen, and now I'm going to switch to my second main phase. This will empty Phil's mana pool, so if Phil had something like a Consign to Memory, I no longer care. We'll make more mana. I'll play Snap on the Cloud of Fairies. Untap, untap. We'll make more mana. Play Cloud of Fairies 1 more time. Storm 12. Untap the 2 lands. And now we Mind's Desire. Storm 13. Whee! And I did hit another Mind's Desire. We'll play the High Tide. Sweet, so we win match number 1 despite maybe not playing ideally or optimally, but I'll take it. So we are 1-0, and well, let's head over to match number 2. Packs.com is the new way to open your favorite cards. It's a site where you open digital packs of trading cards like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, and One Piece cards, and have the cards you open mailed quickly and securely to you. With a wide range of packs to choose from, such as the latest Magic sets, Kaladesh inventions, or even beta. I'm going to open a beta pack. What's great about Packs.com is you can see all of the cards and their odds of being opened in each pack. Now it's time to open one and see what I get. Come on, Black Lotus! If you don't like what you opened, you could sell it back instantly for more packs, or sell it and pick a specific card from the marketplace over at packs.com/market. If you want to check out packs.com, make sure to click the link in the description of this video and use code STORM5 when making a purchase for 5% extra on your first purchase. Time for the second match. We're on the draw. This hand is delightful. We will keep. They lead on Polluted Delta, Underground Sea into Nethergoyf. Okay. This looks like it might be a tough matchup, but we are capable of winning. Another Sapphire Medallion. I will brainstorm now to get ahead of Orcish Bowmasters. I'm going to hide the Mind's Desire and Spellseeker. Pass the turn. Our opponent plays a Brainstorm. Wasteland, what's that going to hit? They attack for 2. I think I'm willing to play one of the Sapphire Medallions into Daze. Like, we have 2 of them, so I think it might be okay. I mean, if it resolves, sweet. But I wasn't expecting the first one to resolve. They replay the Underground Sea. Low State. This one is not leveled up, so who cares? It's Glorified Anticipate. And now they attack for 3. We'll go to 15. We'll play the Misty Rainforest and Sapphire Medallion number 2. They Force of Will. I will Force Will back. We'll exile Brainstorm. Pass the turn. Thoughtseize. I'm going to attempt to Brainstorm in response. Okay. We're going to hide both Snap and the Mind's Desire. Or would it be better to... No, I'll just play it safe. We'll hide both. Another Wasteland, sure. They attack, I go to 10. 2 cards in their hand. We'll play the Scalding Tarn, pass. Actually, no, I want the Mind's Desire on top. Another Flow State. This one is leveled up, so they'll get 2 cards here. Undercity Sewers. 3 cards remain in hand. And now they attack for 4. We'll go to 6. We draw the Mind's Desire. Let's play Spellseeker. This resolves. Yes. We'll grab High Tide. We need our opponent to not have anything here. We'll play High Tide. And now I will snap on the Spellseeker. Untap. We'll play the Spellseeker. We get to chain Spellseeker with Snap here to create a bunch of Storm. We'll grab another Snap. Bounce the Spellseeker. Untap. Play it again. They're pausing like they might have something, but I don't think I'm supposed to respect it. We'll grab another Snap. Bounce the Spellseeker. Untap. Play the Spellseeker again. Yes. The final Snap. We'll bounce the Spellseeker. Storm 9 already, jeez. Alright, so now we'll play Spellseeker. And I will grab... Brain Freeze would be 33 cards, which is not enough. But we'll grab it anyway. I can use it later. And now we'll play Mind's Desire for Storm 11. Okay. Here we go. We'll play our land. Sapphire Medallion. We'll play High Tide. We'll play Granted. Yes. We'll grab Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. I don't know. I don't think it even matters. We'll play Cloud of Fairies. Untap. We'll play Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Target our opponent with Brain Freeze because I can. And they concede. Alright, so High Tide defeats Dimir Tempo, the best deck in Legacy, in game number 1. Let's see if we can manage to steal a post-board game. We're going to want all 4 copies of Pact of Negation. I don't think we need the Echoing Truth. Could probably get rid of a Fae of Wishes. We'll try 3 Sapphire Medallions and 3 Lorien Revealed. What is this? There's no mana. Send it back. I suppose we'll keep. I don't love it. We'll bottom a copy of Time Spiral. They lead on Underground Sea into Nethergoyf. We need lands. That is a land. We'll fetch with the Flooded Strand. We'll grab Basic Island. And Ponder. I think we keep these. Pass. They play Thoughtseize. They take the Brainstorm, which I am completely okay with. There's another Brainstorm on top of our deck. It's underneath the Sapphire Medallion. So I could try to jam a Sapphire Medallion right now, but I don't have the backup one. So I'm going to just play the land and pass. Next turn I can look to play Sapphire Medallion. They play Misty Rainforest. Now they attack. We'll play the Scalding Tarn, and now we play Sapphire Medallion. Force of Will exiles Daze. Sure. There's 2 cards in their hand. Moon Shadow. And now they attack for 3. I'll go to 12. Land number 4. Pass. They fetch. They have 5 power on the table. Ouch. I go to 7. And step Brainstorm. Yikes. There's no High Tide there. We could try to go off with the Sapphire Medallion. I don't know if that's actually even enough mana. So let's just think about this. Let's say I put back 2 cards, I redraw 1. Maybe the Desire. I tap 2 mana and I play Sapphire Medallion. I play Cloud of Fairies. That brings me up to 3 mana. Snap would bring me up to 4. Cloud of Fairies would bring me up to 5, which is exactly enough to Mind's Desire. Okay. Need to get a little bit lucky here. We'll play the Sapphire Medallion. That resolves. I will fetch down to 6. Attempt a Cloud of Fairies. We will untap 2. Snap on the Cloud of Fairies. They have Snuff Out. I will Pact of Negation. Snap. Okay. And now we'll play Cloud of Fairies. They're attempting to pay costs. Surgical Extraction on Snap. Okay. That is fine with me. I need their last card in hand to be a blank. No! That's going to stop me. I'm 1 mana short. Oh, brutal. Oh, devastating. They had 3 pieces of interaction. We just have to pass now. And they drew a spell. Oh, I'm dead to my own Pact of Negation. Next game. Quite the draw there. I like my configuration. I'm going to just resubmit. On the play for game 3. Keep. We'll play Flooded Strand and fetch. Play Ponder. We like all of these. Pass the turn. Underground Sea. Into Moonshadow. I'll play Scalding Tarn and Brainstorm before I can get hit by an Orcish Bowmasters. We like this. I don't need Brain Freeze. And I don't think I want the Force of Will. Pass the turn. Desperately looking for High Tide. They fetch so the Moonshadow will grow. And now we take 2. Ouch. Fetch on their end step. We'll go to our turn. High Tide, there we go. If I was braver, I think I'd try right now, but I'm going to wait a turn. Orcish Bowmasters. Okay. They play Mishra's Bauble. And they use the Bauble. Moonshadow, 4 cards in their hand. And now they swing. I'm at 10. So I'll fetch. Go grab an island. Cycle the Lorien Revealed. We'll grab another island. They draw off the Bauble. Up to 5 cards. Sapphire Medallion. So next turn they have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A fetch would be 8. I'm pretty close to death. I'm going to try it here. We'll play High Tide. They Force of Negation. I will Pact of Negation. High Tide. We'll try a Sapphire Medallion. Cloud of Fairies. They have a Fatal Push. I will respond. I think I want to bounce their Bowmasters. Let's let the untap ability resolve. We'll float more mana. Bounce the Orcish Bowmasters. Untap, untap. We'll play Time Spiral. And it resolves. Let's go. Untap my lands. I am now going to switch phases. This will empty my opponent's mana pool. Actually, let's play Sapphire Medallion. I have 5 mana floating. Let's use it. I'm just going to switch phases before I cast Mind's Desire. And now I'll play Granted. Yes. I'll grab Flusterstorm. Play Brainstorm. We'll put back 2 lands. And now we'll switch phases. Play High Tide. Surgical Extraction on Brainstorm. You've got it. And now we'll Ponder. I suppose we'll keep the Pact of Negation. And now we'll Mind's Desire for 15. Legacy High Tide about to be 2-0 defeating the best deck in Legacy. How about that? I mean, they have a Secrets of Strixhaven card in Flow State. We have a Secrets of Strixhaven card in Mathemagics. Seems about fair. All 4 Cloud of Fairies, no big deal. We'll play High Tide. High Tide. Let's play Spellseeker. It enters. Yes. We'll grab the Brain Freeze. Target them. Storm 19. And the opponent concedes the match. Too easy. Love it. Alright, I'll see you in match number 3.
Building a new deck usually means getting hit with a dozen different shipping fees from a dozen different sellers. It adds up fast, and honestly, it's the worst part of buying cards. That's why I switched to Card Trader Zero. You shop their global marketplace, but instead of having every seller ship to you, they ship to Card Trader's hub first. Card Trader then packs everything into a single shipment for you, and it saves a small fortune on shipping fees. This package from Card Trader just arrived. These are 4 dark rituals that came from 4 different sellers, but they all arrived in one envelope, and every card was quality checked by the Card Trader team before it hit my door. Check out the link in the description to try Card Trader Zero's optimizer for yourself. Stop paying for multiple shipments and get just one.
Match number 3, and we're on the play, or no, we're on the draw, my apologies, versus Martin Medmitten, a combo legend. And we have a decent hand. My fear with this, well, Tundra's not usually a combo land. Fortune Teller's Talent. Okay. This is an odd one. They can look at their top of their library at any time. And if they level it up, you can cast, as long as you cast a spell this turn, you may play cards from the top of your library. Okay. Not really sure what they're up to. We'll play Polluted Delta and pass. They Brainstorm. Volcanic Island. Into Mishra's Bauble. Conjurer's Bauble. We have a wild deck here. Mox Opal, 1 card left in hand. I would like to draw Force of Will. Time Spiral. We will pass the turn. 4 mana. Are you going to level up the Fortune Teller's Talent? Noxious Revival, sure. And now they level it up. They play Lotus Petal. Storm is 2. I would like them to make it so I don't actually have to win and I can just Brain Freeze them. Another Noxious Revival. Lotus Petal. Dragon's Rage Channeler. That's awkward. Because now they're going to be able to sculpt the top of their deck. Another Lotus Petal. Okay. Brainstorm, Storm 7. Gets rid of Grape Shot. Really hoping my Brain Freeze gets the job done. Another Lotus Petal, and now they can surveil away a card they did not want. But they don't, they keep it on top. Enlightened Tutor. I wonder if I'm supposed to consider snapping the Channeler here. They have 2 cards in their hand. Let's snap on the Dragon's Rage Channeler. Untap. Lion's Eye Diamond. So Brain Freeze would mill 36 cards right now, and they'd have 5 cards left in their deck. Okay. So now they could play Lion's Eye Diamond. This Conjurer's Bauble, I need to go away. They have Noxious Revival here. Okay. They play a land. They're going to use the Conjurer's Bauble. So I can deck them here. So they're going to draw the Grape Shot. I have to let this go. So they have Grape Shot in hand. But I think I'm just dead. Maybe I messed up. Maybe I was supposed to Brain Freeze them sooner. So if I deck them right now, they would put me to 1 if they have no other spells. Yeah, I think I messed up. Cool deck, though. Yeah, I think I just messed up. I'm sure there was a window where I could have done something meaningful, but I don't know if I saw it. So this Grape Shot will put me to 1. And I think, wait, the other card in their hand shouldn't be a Noxious Revival, or else they could have killed me. So what is it? No, it is the Noxious Revival. You could have just played that first and then killed me. Sure. This was unnecessary, but you got it. Alright, so we lose game number 1. I'm going to bring in the Leyline of the Voids. We saw a lot of graveyard synergy. I don't think we need Echoing Truth. I want all of my Sapphire Medallions, I believe. I'll probably get rid of 1 copy of Fae of Wishes. And then maybe like 2 Lorien Revealed. We'll try this. On the play for game 2. Sure. Keep. Leyline of the Void. Island, pass the turn. They have a Flooded Strand. They play Lotus Petal. Lion's Eye Diamond. Lion's Eye Diamond. Urza's Bauble. Fortune Teller's Talent. Wow, what a hand. I will Brainstorm in response. We find the Force of Will. I think I'm going to counter the Boomerang Basics Exile Snap. They have 1 card, but they have their most important card in play. Maybe I should have Brainstormed in response to the Fortune Teller's Talent. They've leveled it up. Orum's Chant. Okay. Yeah, I might have just misplayed this, who knows. Another Boomerang Basics, wow! Ah, brutal. They use the Bauble, and another one. They're going to draw 2 cards here. We're going to draw Mind's Desire. But I think I'm going to just play the Medallion. I guess I should have Brainstormed in response to Fortune Teller's Talent. I felt safe with the Leyline in play, but maybe I shouldn't have. They play a land. Another Boomerang Basics. This unlocks the Fortune Teller's Talent. Wow. Probably dead next turn. We'll play Brainstorm. See if I can convert this Leyline into something useful. And I have the Brain Freeze again. I just don't know if it's actually good enough. We also saw Orm's Chant, so they're probably going to protect themselves. Another Dragon's Rage Channeler. Chrome Mox, they have one card in hand. I feel like the odds that they fizzle from here are very low. Noxious Revival. The Imprint and Enlightened Tutor, so they have no hand. The Mishra's Bauble resolves. They kept both cards on top. You'd think with Double Channeler they would be surveilling more, but they're not. But now they'll know that I have Brain Freeze. They surveilled away a Conjurer's Bauble, interesting. And now they grab Defense Grid. They swing. I mean, I'm going to Brain Freeze on the end step because I don't think it's going to do anything after this turn, so we shall do this. Mill you for 21. I have to hope that all of their win conditions and Noxious Revivals and Conjurer's Baubles are in that top section of the deck. That's 3 Noxious Revival. Looks like I have not hit the Brain Freeze. Or, I'm sorry, not the Brain Freeze, the Grape Shot. Lavinia, that's funny. I hit the Noxious Revival, I did not hit the Grape Shot, so there's no more Noxious Revivals. But there is a Grape Shot left. We'll draw off the Bauble. We drew a land. I'll play Ponder. Fave Wishes is secretly fine here because it blocks the channelers. Play the land. I'll fetch down to 13. Grab the Mystic Sanctuary. Put the Brain Freeze on top. Actually, is that a bad idea? Let's do it. I don't know. We'll play Sapphire Medallion. And then Fave Wishes. Blocker. They know that my hand stinks. They have 2 cards in their hand. The Lotus Petal. Mox Opal. Urza's Bauble. Mishra's Bauble. And now a Candy Trail. Looks like they found the Grape Shot. Okay. So, what's your game plan here? Currently, my Brain Freeze doesn't deck them because I can't play 2 spells. Another Fortune Teller's Talent. I really needed their Grape Shot to be towards the top if I wasn't going to mill it. But it looks like things worked out in their favor. And that it's like literally on the bottom of their deck here. 3 cards left in deck. Lion's Eye Diamond. They're going to level up their Fortune Tellers in another Candy Trail. So I'm dead. All they have to do is Grape Shot me and swing. I feel like it would be pretty difficult for them to mess this up. Another Channeler. And there it is. Very cool deck. I mean, I'm a little bummed we didn't win, but it was a very cool deck. Okay. So we lose match number 3, and we are now 2-1. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. They support over 30 formats, including Legacy and many other Eternal formats. There are so many options to view decks the way that you want, from text view to individual cards, mana value, and even card price. There's also light mode and dark mode. My personal favorite feature is card tags. This way you can sort cards by function. Moxfield supports collection tracking, Scryfall search, decklist feedback, and so much more. Follow me on Moxfield.com so you can stay updated on all of my decks. Alright, we're back for the 4th match. On the draw, I will keep Underground Sea into Tameo Inquisitive Student. Likely Dimir Tempo. Brainstorm a good draw. I'll play Basic Island and pass. They play Basic Swamp. I'll play Scalding Tarn and pass back to the opponent. If they use the clue, I'm going to fire off Brainstorm to potentially try to get underneath an Orcish Bowmasters. Here we go. I do not want the Brain Freeze. I don't think I even want the Lorien Revealed. Although Lorien Revealed might be better than land 5. They swing with the Tameo. They play Flooded Strand. Thoughtseize. This will resolve. They take the Mind's Desire. Fetch with the Scalding Tarn. We'll grab Basic Island. Go to our turn. Another snap. Play the island and pass. On the end step, they fetch and sacrifice the clue. They swing with Tameo. And now they play Flow State, where it's not unlocking both modes, so it's just 2 mana Anticipate. They play an island, and they pass. We draw Misty Rainforest. We need a Sapphire Medallion or a High Tide, but unfortunately we have neither. They sacrifice a clue. Land number 5. Now a Brainstorm. I'm wondering if I should try to snap the Tameo here, so that way they can't get back Thoughtseize next turn. Attempt a snap. Untap our 2 lands. And now they play Borogoyf. They're fetching with Polluted Delta. Mystic Sanctuary. It's back Flow State. I'll take my turn. Another land. I will pass the turn. I don't know if I'm supposed to do this or not. I think I'm going to hardcast Force of Will. It's likely going to get dazed, I'm aware, but I don't know if I have a better choice. We'll put Mind's Desire on top. Pay 5 mana for a Force of Will. I am so surprised that they have a daze, let me tell you. Alright. They get rid of my Snap. And now they replay Mystic Sanctuary. Picks up Thoughtseize. And now they Flow State. And Thoughtseize again. Goodbye to the Lorien Revealed. And they hit an Orcish Bowmasters off the Bargoyf. As if things couldn't be worse. I will play Cloud of Fairies. They Force of Will Cloud of Fairies. We will pass. They attack for 6. Ouch. And now they Brainstorm. And another Flow State. Alright. We lose this one. We can go to game number 2. Once again, we'll be bringing in Pact of Negation. Get rid of Echoing Truth. A Lorien Revealed. Bay of Wishes. And 1 Sapphire Medallion. We'll try this. On the play. Sure, this seems reasonable. I do need more lands, but there's a lot of things to like about this hand. Our opponent's deck has a lot of interaction, which makes me a little nervous, but that's what the Dimir tempo deck is in Legacy. This one's more mid-range, but same idea. We'll play Ponder and keep this. Pass the turn. I think I'm going to avoid playing into Daze on the Sapphire Medallion, and I'll pass. They play an Island. Cameo Inquisitive Student. And step Brainstorm. Okay. The question is there a win here? I don't think there is. So I'll put Force of Will underneath Sapphire Medallion. I mean, maybe there's a win here. So if I go High Tide and then High Tide again into... I mean, that's still 1 mana short of Spellseeker Snap. So I'd have to snap on their Tameo. I'm just going to play the Medallion and pass. They fetch in response. Consign to Memory. And I feel foolish for putting Force of Will on the bottom. I was thinking about like, oh, well, if I don't have room for, like, I don't have a spare blue card to pitch. So I was like, Force of Will is actually worse than Pact of Negation here. But then I chickened out and passed the turn. So that made it look worse. They play a Wasteland. And now a Brainstorm. And now they have Thoughtseize. Maybe I should have just jammed last turn. Maybe that would have been a good spot for Mathemagics. I don't know. My fear was like I lost to a Daze. Like the entire line crumbled if my opponent had a Daze, and that's ultimately why I passed. But I don't know, it just seems like they have everything. We'll pass the turn. They play Bargoyf. They plus the Tameo. Desire. I just have to pass. Maybe there's a world in which we sneak a Desire in if I can draw another land. They plus the Tameo last turn, which makes me think they'll probably do it again. They pick up Consign to Memory. Why do I open up my mouth? Oh, jeez. Okay. So now my Desire doesn't even beat their Consign to Memory. I'm going to hope that we flip another Mind's Desire off of the one that we do get to resolve against the Consign, I suppose. We'll play another High Tide. Attempt to snap the Bargoyf. They have Spell Snare. I will Pact of Negation. They Force of Will, exile Tameo. I will Force of Will, exile High Tide. They Brainstorm in response. And now the Snap. Untap my lands. So we know that they have Consign to Memory. I need to hit like something incredibly good here. Like another Mind's Desire. That is how we win. Excuse me. Mind's Desire. We hit Mystic Sanctuary. This is not good enough to win the game, and unfortunately, we lose to Dimir Tempo. We are now 2-2 in this Legacy League. Looking to make playing your favorite combo deck much easier? Look no further than the Epic Storm Mini Combo Pack, which is available at theepicstorm.com/shop for $15.99. This token combo pack comes with 84 double-sided tokens featuring classic Storm and Mana tokens with new inclusions such as our modern Ruby Storm package, but that's not all. Our token pack covers a variety of formats from Pauper to CDH with new tokens. Stop on by theepicstorm.com/shop and make an easy decision to elevate your combo game. Round number 5, we are on the play. Sure, this seems good. We'll keep. The last few times that I have faced our opponent, they have been on Dimir Tempo, which would be the 3rd time this league, which is a lot. Hopefully they're not playing it and they're playing something different, but I wouldn't count on it. We'll play Ponder. I think we keep this. Pass the turn. They lead with an Undercity Sewers, and they kept a card on top. We're going to draw Snap. I will cycle the Lorien Revealed. We'll go grab an island. We'll play it, and then play Ponder. I like all of these. Pass the turn. Polluted Delta. We'll play Island. My top two cards are Spirals, so I think we're supposed to try to do something here. They let it resolve. Let's attempt a Cloud of Fairies. And they're going to Force Will Cloud of Fairies. Okay. Consider, so you're playing Doomsday. Okay. And now they Brainstorm. End step they fetch with the Polluted Delta. Grabs an Underground Sea. Now they play Ponder. Thoughtseize, that hurts. And they take the High Tide. And now we have to draw through double Time Spiral. Or maybe it's just one Time Spiral, because I think the Ponder saw Snap, Desire, Time Spiral. But we're in a hole at the moment. They Brainstorm, Polluted Delta, and Flow State. We'll play Polluted Delta and pass. They play Misty Rainforest. And there's the Doomsday. Okay, our opponent has made a pile. I can't really afford to play around anything, so I'm not going to. We'll grab Mystic Sanctuary. We'll put High Tide on top. Yes. Play High Tide. They're going to cycle Edge of Autumn. I feel like if you could have done this, you probably just could have killed me, but okay. And now they Force of Will. I will pass the turn. They play Flow State. And our opponent just conceded the game, so sometimes just sitting there, I guess, is worthwhile. We'll take it. I think I want to bring in Pact of Negation. Board out Fae of Wishes. Board out the Echoing Truth. Actually, I'm going to get rid of both Fae of Wishes, and then we'll board out one Lorien Revealed. I think I want... Like, I don't need a backup win condition, I don't think. I believe that Mathemagics and our one Brain Freeze will be enough. Not the most exciting hand, but I will keep. They have a turn 1 Duress. They took Snap, which is interesting. We'll play Island and pass the turn. Now they play Undercity Sewers. High Tide, not a bad draw. We'll pass. They Brainstorm. Misty Rainforest. And Flow State. They have 6 cards in their hand. We drew Cloud of Fairies. I think I could try to win right now. I'm going to just Spellseeker for Force of Will. So that way I don't lose to interaction. Spellseeker. Yes. And now we'll grab Force of Will wherever it is. Oh, I can't grab Force of Will. That's so dumb. We'll grab Pact of Negation. Spellseeker gets things with mana value 2 or less. It is not Merchant Scroll. They play Lotus Petal and Doomsday. Our opponent cycles Street Wraith, so they're into their pile. They're not going to use Edge of Autumn. Another Edge of Autumn. And now they fetch with Scalding Tarn. I will attempt a Pact of Negation. Okay. We lose game number 2. Off to game 3. On the play for the final game of this Legacy League. I will keep Island pass. They have Polluted Delta into Ponder. They did not shuffle off the Ponder. Mind's Desire is the draw. I'll just pass the turn. They play Scalding Tarn and Thoughtseize. Goodbye to High Tide. Draw for turn. Another land. We will pass. Our opponent plays Ponder. They shuffle 5 cards in their hand. After they play Polluted Delta and another Thoughtseize. They take my Pact of Negation. I don't know. I guess I'll fetch now. I was a little disappointed when I drew another land last turn. But I could use the Sanctuary to grab the High Tide out of the graveyard. Snap. A little bit of an underwhelming draw on this spot. They search out Undercity Sewers. Travails away Duress. Imagine being that far ahead where you're just like, I don't need more interaction. That is a Dark Ritual. Another Duress. We're dead. Now they play a Flow State. I guess they wanted instant in their graveyard, which is why they played the Dark Ritual. They cycle an Edge of Autumn. That feels like an aggressive play to me, but what do I know? We'll fetch. They have 4 cards in their hand. We'll grab Mystic Sanctuary. Put High Tide on top of the deck. Play the Island. Cast High Tide. Assuming this even resolves, I can't help but wonder if you're supposed to Mind's Desire, just because if they let it resolve and they force pitching Force, wow. If they let it resolve and then force your Time Spiral, you're stuck with a Mind's Desire with no cards in hand. They just play a land and pass. We will pass the turn. 3 cards in their hand. We find Ponder. We'll play it. I think we keep this. Next turn I can spend 5 mana for a Lorien Revealed. I don't know. They Brainstorm, Lotus Petal. 3 cards left in their hand. I'm going to fetch. We only have 2 fetchable lands left in our deck, so I don't want to draw one of them with Lorien Revealed if I can help it. Let's play a 5 mana draw 3. They fetch in response, and a Force of Negation. I could have fought there. I just don't think it's the best idea. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries. Do I have to counter this? My only way of winning is decking them, and I boarded out both of my Fae of Wishes, right? I think I have to counter this. I have no other way of winning. I will Pact of Negation the Jace. I don't think I can beat Jace, Wielder of Mysteries, which is crazy. Because I boarded out the Echoing Truth. I boarded out both Fae of Wishes. Our opponent's tanking on this. If they force a will back, I lose. They let it go. And now I must pay 5 mana for Pact of Negation. I'll play Ponder. We will keep this. Pass the turn. They play Brainstorm, Misty Rainforest. They have 2 cards in their hand. And now they Flow State. I wonder if I'm supposed to try to Time Spiral here. I know that it seems crazy, but these desires for 1 aren't going to do much. They Force Will, exile Brainstorm. I'm going to Force Will back. Exile a Mind's Desire. They have 1 card. What is it? Time Spiral? And I hit another Time Spiral and a Cloud of Fairies. I'll play my land for the turn. Fetch. We'll play the Cloud of Fairies. This was not a good draw 7. Untap, untap. And now we'll Time Spiral again. They Force Will, exile Flow State. I will Force of Will, exile Force of Will. Time Spiral. And it resolves. Let's go. We'll begin with a High Tide. And now we'll play Ponder. Did not want 3 lands. We'll shuffle that. Attempt to Brainstorm. Yikes. Okay, so I must pass the turn here. Wanted a Mind's Desire so badly. I would have taken a Lorien Revealed too. Spellseeker. There was a bunch of good hits. They play Brainstorm. They're going to fetch with Polluted Delta. They grab an Undercity Sewers. Surveils away Lion's Eye Diamond. Thoughtseize. Sure. They take my Cloud of Fairies. They're afraid of the beatdown. Mono blue aggro, what they often call High Tide. Another Thoughtseize. So this will put them down to 3. Is Cloud of Fairies going to go the distance? They take a Pact of Negation. Okay. We'll get in there. There's no point in playing the Misty Rainforest. We have all of our fetchables in play, and I don't want to give my opponent the information of what's in my hand. So this is their last turn that they could possibly play a Doomsday. Because you cannot Doomsday from 1 life. Also, what an incredible way to close out a league by attacking for lethal with Cloud of Fairies. Our opponent just conceded! Wow, we beat Doomsday by attacking with Cloud of Fairies. Nice. Well, they technically conceded because they would have lost the Cloud of Fairies, but we got there. So Mathemagics, we played in match number 1 versus Thraben U, aka Phil Gallagher. And it was pretty awesome. I loved getting it off of the Spellseeker. I think it was the only time it happened in the league. I thought it was pretty great. I liked the deck list. I think this archetype struggles in a format like we're in right now, where Dimir Tempo is just by far the best thing. I do wonder if I misplayed versus the Martin Medbin combo deck, but it's tough to say. In hindsight, I should have brainstormed in response to the enchantment, but I felt safe with the leyline in play, and then it just ended up not being the case. So, live and learn. I've never faced that deck before, but now I know better if I ever face it again. That's all I've got for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this High Tide video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, support the channel, all that great stuff. I hope you have a wonderful day, and as always, keep storming. Thank you for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below. But in our description, you'll find a link to our Discord where you can talk about the deck with other like-minded individuals of varying skill types. It doesn't matter if you're a beginner or an expert. There's people there looking to talk combo. Join our Discord.